What if in the next 12 months, your life as you know it right now can look completely different than anything you ever imagined, but in a elevated, upstanding, positive type of way? And this ain't got nothing to do with luck. This ain't got nothing to do with the external environments and things around you. It has nothing to do with that, but it has everything to do with the way you shift your mind and the way that you think. That's it. That's all. And so I want to share 12 mental shifts with you that's going to help you make that come into fruition. And the beautiful thing is you ain't got to worry about nobody else. This is all in your hands. This is all in your control. And all you have to do is implement these things and you'll see your life get better. If you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. I am Amika Coleman. I am the founder of Strands of Faith, a purpose-driven beauty brand that creates products that bring joy to your textured hair. And I am a mental wellness advocate. And I'm excited today because many times we go through life, y'all, and we don't really love our life. Like, we have an idea of how we want our life to be, how we want it to become better. We can see all the good things ahead that we want for our lives, but for some reason we're not able to make it happen. For some reason, sometimes it seems like things are staying the same and it's never going to change. And that life that we want and desire is never going to be ours in this lifetime. But that is the furthest thing from the truth. And today we're going to change that. Okay, I need you to say it with me. We are going to change that and believe it. The first thing is shifting yourself from this question: why me? Why me? Why me? Why me? That's something that we often ask ourselves, especially like when we experience unfavorable things in life. It's like, why me? Why did this happen to me? But what if we switch that from why me to what can I learn from this thing, right? Life isn't always happening to us, or even when we feel like life is happening to us, if we can switch that to say, life is happening for me. You see how that small switch in language and perspective kind of like switches and changes things? Instead of why me, what can I learn from this? And instead of life is always happening to me, something is always going wrong, this is always, all these things are always happening, to maybe this is working for me, maybe this is for my good. I think if you can start to find the good even in bad situations and find the lessons in it, it helps you to just go through life in a more smoother fashion, I would say. Because think about all of the anxiety that comes about when you're thinking in that mind frame of why me. It's like you can't see the good, you can't see the silver lining. Every single situation that comes your way is gonna feel like, woe is me. And you're gonna be like stuck in this mental cage that you feel like you can't get out of. But if you're like, okay, dang, my car just broke down on the side of the road, I'm on my way to this job interview. Like, out of all people, why in the world me? But what if in that moment, God was protecting you from an accident that could have happened 1 minute further down the road? It's all about just a shift in perspective. And that's just a small example, but I want you to be able to try to find the good in the bad things that happen to your life. And that one single perspective shift, and you will find yourself starting to be able to find gems in the things that you go through in life. Like, life is not easy. Life is not perfect for us. We all go through things, and technically everybody can say, why me, right? None of us are exempt from the trials, the tribulations, the challenges, and the struggles and the troubles of this world. It's something we're all going to experience. And so if we're going to experience, then the best way to get through it is say, okay, what can I learn from this? How can this situation propel my life forward in a positive manner? How can I not dwell on this thing for too long? Basically, how can I make this thing more positive? And then the next mental shift is shifting from comparison to a mindset of gratitude. When you can shift from why do they have this over here, or how did they get all those things over here, to God, I'm grateful and thankful for what you placed on my table in front of me, the things that you've given me, I am grateful for those things. When you can focus fully on the things that you do have, it just really helps to shift every single thing in your atmosphere, in your environment, in the vicinity. Gratitude shifts the atmosphere. I'm telling you, if you just wake up with a simple, God, thank you for allowing me to put these 2 feet on the floor this morning, right? Somebody broke their foot yesterday. Somebody can't walk. To everything, there's going to always be an opposite where somebody somewhere, you know, the opposite is happening to. And so if you can just stop for a moment, here's like how I like to do it. Here's a really good trick, example, or however you want to call it. So whenever something comes up, right, and you start to question, okay, I wish I had more in this area, or I wish I had that, or I wish, or whatever that thing you're wishing, directly compared to what you already have and being like grateful for that. So for instance, if you want a bigger house, right? If your goal is to get 5,000 square foot house, and right now you're in a 750 square foot apartment, God, thank you for the 750 square foot apartment. Thank you for the water in this apartment. Thank you for my ability to be able to pay the lease or the rent for this apartment. Because the more you can really just be grateful for that, you make room for what's to come, and you're not soaking in the fact that you don't have the thing you want. That just puts your mind in a negative frame, and it prevents the creativity from flowing. All the creativity you need to bring in or to kind of like help gear you towards the things you want, it stifles that when you're focusing on the lack, or when you're focusing on what you don't have right now, or when you're comparing yourself to what other people have. No, give God thanks and be grateful for what you have. Gratitude is one of the easiest way to lift your mood in any given time throughout the day. Just say, God, I thank you. God, I'm grateful. And watch your mood change. You try it. If this is not something you practice, I want to encourage you to find a reason to be grateful every minute of every day if you have to. And you'll begin to see everything around you shift. And then the next thing is focusing on progress over perfection. You've probably heard it said, done is better than perfect. Becoming better, moving better, evolving better, more than you were on yesterday. That is progress, okay? Don't set yourself up to feel like, oh, I have to make this big leap. Like, you have this big end goal in front of you, and you're focusing on that so much without focusing on the little baby steps that it takes to get there. You do yourself a disservice when you focus on that end thing, because the energy that it takes to get to that end thing doesn't happen in one glob of energy. It happens in little baby steps of energy. And so baby steps of progress. And so as you're moving along to that end goal, your progress won't be perfect. Some days you're going to drop the ball. Some days you're going to miss the mark. If you're going to the gym and your goal is to have a really nice body, guess what? Sometimes you're going to wake up and you're not going to feel like going to the gym. You may skip gym day, and that's okay. You just pick up tomorrow and get back with the program, get back in the routine, and you start again. And so progress is better than perfection. The next thing is shifting your mind from busyness to intentionality. We are so busy, y'all, these days. We can be busy nonstop. Like, we find stuff to get into, stuff that don't even pertain to us sometimes. We just get busy, busy, busy. And busy does not mean productive. And so you have to say, what can I be more intentional about in this season? This is why it's a really good idea to have outcomes. Outcomes are just basically the end goals, things that you want to work towards. Because if you have those in place, whether you have little buckets, I like to call them buckets. So if you have a fitness bucket, a family and lifestyle bucket, a health bucket, or a career bucket, all of those different buckets, if you have outcomes for those buckets, then you can be more intentional and say, okay, is this task, is this action, is this project moving me towards those end outcomes? And it helps you to say no to busyness, right? And to be less busy, because you know what you're intentionally focusing on and moving forward towards. And so changing and switching your mindset from being busy to being intentional. Is this helping me push the needle towards my bigger overall goal in this season? And if it's not, then you may have to say, no, you may have to say, no, I appreciate you for thinking about me, but I can't commit to this right now. Or, oh my gosh, I love that idea. Sign me up. But maybe in this next season, you really have to take inventory on where you are in your life and understand that busyness is not something that's helping you move towards your outcome in a positive and helpful manner. Shifting your mindset from fear to faith. Fear says, what if I fail? What if I fail? But you know what faith says? Faith says, what if I fly? What if I fly? What if the thing that I'm afraid of, what if that thing takes off? What if the thing that I have put on the back burner, what if I, put some time and effort into this? And what if this thing fully manifests in the way that I imagined initially? Fear is a robber of your peace, of your joy, of your progress. God did not give us the spirit of fear, right? I always say it's okay to feel fear. That's the human side of feeling fear. But a spirit of fear is something that subsides and it's embedded deep within you, and it's not letting you up. It's not allowing you to move. It's keeping you stuck. It's making you feel like you're not qualified to do whatever thing it is you want to do. That's what fear is. That's what a spirit of fear is, right? So like I said, you can feel fear. Feeling fear is healthy. Feeling fear just means that, okay, I'm stepping into this new thing. I care about this thing. And so you have maybe a feeling of fear of it. But try to start learning to replace that fear with faith. Faith says, I'm going to move forward in spite of. I'm going to do this thing in spite of, irregardless of how it turns out. It's helping me push me towards my goal. And if the only way I'm going to get to my goal is if I move my feet, then I have to move my feet in faith. The next shift is moving from holding grudges to choosing forgiveness. Forgiveness is not about letting people off the hook. Forgiveness is so that you can move forward in life without the bitterness, without all the negative things that's going to hold you back. Forgiveness is just saying, okay, yeah, they did this. Yeah, this happened, but I choose to be free. I choose to not allow that to hold me back. Right? This is a concept that's hard for people to understand because sometimes, people be wanting to get their get back. You like, she did this, he did this, they said this, they said that. I'm going to eye for an eye. I'm not about to let them get away with it. And so I'm going to remember what they did forever. I'm going to hold this grudge. And every time I see them, I'm going to mean mug them. I'm going to tell other people about what they did to me and how they're a horrible person. Right? And when you do that, if you're not careful, you have to realize that when you do that, that's not affecting them. That's affecting nobody but you. That bitterness that's harboring and stirring up in your spirit, that's affecting you. That type of stuff can lead to sickness. If we're on a journey going towards healing, that's not taking us towards healing. That's taking us away from it. That's taking us to sickness. We don't want sickness in our body. That's something that we can control. Some illnesses you may not necessarily can control. When you think about cancer, sometimes cancer just comes in the body. It's nothing that you did and it just comes. But sickness as a result of unforgiveness, that's something that you have control over. And so when you realize that you hold that power, you stop allowing other people to hold that power for you or to take that power away from you. And you can say, yes, what they did was wrong, but I'm going to choose to pray for them and forgive. It don't make you weak. Again, it don't make you passive. You have just come into a new mental shift and you realize that in order for you to become all that you need to be, forgiveness is just one of the gifts that you're giving yourself. The next thing is moving from self-doubt to self-compassion. The way you speak gently to a friend, the way you speak gently to a colleague, to your kids, or to whoever, you have to start learning how to speak to yourself in that same manner. Stop doubting yourself so much. Start being a little bit more compassionate and loving towards yourself because, yes, you deserve it too. And many times we wait for other people to show us, compassion or empathy and all the things. But how can we really expect and wait for other people to do it if we're not doing it ourselves? It starts with us. Everything that we want out into the world, like we want to happen, it mirrors and start with us first. And so if you're doubting yourself, then when other people doubt you, how can you like rebuttal against that, right? You're gonna doubt yourself sometimes. That's normal. What I'm trying to say here, whenever I'm talking and sharing this information, just know that I'm never coming from a place of perfection. I'm coming from a place of wanting you to be able to see yourself in a new perspective and a new light. Okay. So when I say self-doubt, yeah, you're gonna experience it sometime, but don't dwell or wallow in self-doubt. Don't doubt yourself. Everybody in this world is trying to figure out life the same way. Nobody got it all together. So you have to show yourself compassion through and through on this journey and don't let up. Show yourself all the compassion you need. Matter of fact, never let it run out, okay? You deserve to give yourself grace and compassion. The next one, this one is so good. You have to shift. Okay, this one I'm talking to myself. So you have to shift from control to surrender. Give up control and just surrender. Be like, listen, I ain't got all the answers. I can't figure this thing out. God, I need you to come in. I need to surrender to you. You got the answers. You got the master plan. I give it up. Like, I take my hands off of it, right? When you find that you give up control and you just surrender, is that not the most peaceful thing ever? Just think back to a time where you felt like, I mean, it's not the same as giving up, but I just want to use that as an example. Think about a time you was working on something so hard and in that moment you decide to give up. Okay, yeah, you may feel a little defeated, but think about the release and the relief you felt in that moment. It's like, I give this up. It's out of my control. I can't do it no more. And the peace that you received in your mind for letting that thing go, even if just for a moment. And so when you let go of control, when you use that example and apply it to other areas of your life and you let go of that control and you just surrender, you know you're not giving up because you're surrendering to somebody who got you, somebody who ain't gonna let you fall, somebody who's looking out for you, right? And it feels so freeing to know I ain't got to have it all together. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to have it all together. And that's what letting go of control and surrendering does for you. So if you find yourself today stressed about anything and it's overwhelming for you and it's something that you have control over or something that you think you have control over, just consider dropping that control for a moment and surrender and say, God, I give it to you. Next mental shift is shifting from negative self-talk to positive affirmations. And so I know sometimes affirmations they can get a bad rap because people, well, let me just say this. When I talk about affirmations, I am not talking about manifesting things in your own strength. I'm just saying that you're speaking positive things over your life, basically encouraging yourself, right? And so instead of speaking negative about yourself, like, I'll never amount to nothing, I can't do this, I don't have the experience, whatever, you have to say, okay, but I'm growing, I'm learning, I'm healing, I'm trying at this thing. I gave this thing a shot. That is me trying. And you say those things, I'm trying, I'm learning, I'm growing. I didn't get it right today. I may not get it right tomorrow, but I did it. And that shift, your mind believes what you tell it. And even if you're not there yet, if you tell it enough over and over and over, you will find that you start to walk into that thing and to embody that thing. And so stop speaking negative about yourself. Start speaking life. Next shift is stop expecting instant microwavable results and switch your mindset to one of long-term consistency. This one is very difficult. This one is very hard. This is why a lot of us do not meet the goals that we desire to meet, is because we have a problem with consistency. Consistency is, I'm telling you, if there was ever a blueprint to success, consistency will be at the top of the list. And so give yourself the space to know that whatever it is you're working on, whatever you're desiring, is going to take time. Nothing worth having is going to happen overnight. That's why, when you hear about people being overnight successes, technically you found out about them today, but they've probably been grinding and working that thing out for 5, 10, 15, 20 years. And so goodness takes time. When you can program and shift your mind to see it as such, then you will stop giving up on tasks so quick when they don't pan out or when they don't work out. And you will say, okay, let me stick to this thing for 6 months and give it my all before I make a decision on this. If you could just do that, that in itself will change your life, your progress, and allow you to see results because you're sticking to something long enough. Consistency is sometimes all you need. So get out of the mindset that I want this to happen today and be okay if it happens tomorrow. Not literally, but literally. And the last mental shift is shifting from a mindset of isolation to a mindset of community. Nobody on this world has reached the peak of their life doing it alone in isolation. And that can be a very difficult thing to know how to maneuver, especially again, if you're somebody who has been hurt by people or you just haven't had the best luck with communities and things like that in the past. But you have to figure out a way to where you can find your community, build your tribe. You have to create or curate a group of people who you do life with and who you trust because it's going to be so crucial and essential to your life's journey. And we all need community. Iron sharpens iron. Like get you somebody who can correct you, somebody who can let you know when you fall short, somebody who can give you praise and say, I'm proud of you, give you compliments. You need a good balance of all of that. And so switching from isolation to community. And, I know, like I said, this is difficult, especially if you're an introvert or if you've been hurt in the past. That in itself is going to be a journey, but you have to do it. You have to absolutely do it. So that's the end of the mental shifts. And I just want to say, imagine where you could be this time next year if you just was intentional about implementing some of these mental shifts. Like mental shifts are the number one thing that's going to take you from A to Z, from the beginning to the end. It starts all in our mind. That's why, an idle mind is dangerous. You have to be cognizant of the thoughts and and the beliefs that you have in your mind and cognizant and aware enough to change them and to shift them. And so I want to challenge you to pick any of these. Let me know. I know I didn't number them, but write out. Let me know which mental shift you're going to be intentional on focus on to make your life better. Because I want you to feel the benefits, the joy, and the happiness from looking back 1 year from now, you're looking back to this day and say, "Man, I really did it. Like I did that. Nobody else did that but me. I worked on me and my mind to get me to where I am, right? By making the little small changes." And so you absolutely can do it. I am rooting for you. I believe in you. You got this. Keep the faith. Bet on you because God already did.